In this video, I want to share with you 6 harsh truths about being a software engineer that others really aren't talking about, so you can be better informed if you're thinking about learning to code, and you can ultimately navigate your career more efficiently. Hey, my name is Khan. I'm a software engineer at a startup, and I've worked for companies like Sony and Google. And I want to take some time today to share insights into what the real world of being a software engineer is like. These are things that I kind of wish I had expectations of going in so that I knew how to better handle the reality. It would have helped me avoid some headaches and better set expectations so I can navigate my learning and progress through my career more efficiently. It also happens to line up with advice that I give out to people that are just getting started with learning to code, so it might be useful for you if that's where you're at. Okay, let's get started. Harsh truth number 1 is that learning is supposed to feel hard. Between the complexity of topics, learning a new language syntax, developing problem-solving muscles, lack of immediate feedback, overwhelm from an abundance of online resources, and continually needing to learn, learning can feel very challenging. It can be downright exhausting sometimes, and that's to be expected. That's because you're creating new brain pathways, tying together disconnected ideas and concepts into a cohesive understanding of the technology that powers our digital world. You face resistance when bumping up against having to create these neural pathways. Look, it's hard. Getting stuck feels hard. The uncertainty from not knowing how to solve something feels hard. But you know what? It's okay to struggle. Learning is supposed to feel hard. Great software developers embrace this need to learn. They embrace the difficulty of it all. And somehow we emerge from the depths. We learn to enjoy the process of continuous learning itself. Somewhere along the way, we stop minding the bumps in the road. We stop hoping that our programs will be bug-free. We stop expecting that our life will be simple and easy. The frustration of feeling stuck on a problem slowly morphs into excitement. We start to get excited when we get really stuck because it's a novel problem. The hard feeling of learning turns into excitement from an opportunity. So if you're new on this journey, there is hope. But in the beginning, it's really helpful to keep in mind that learning is supposed to feel hard. Harsh truth number 2 is that programming is simple compared to building products in the real world. The thing with programming is that we're working with inanimate, predictable machines. While programming can be complicated and confusing at first, it pales in comparison to the complexity of building products for real companies in the real world. Programming and the code we write is only half of the material output of our work. The other half is the decision-making process that drives what we build. As engineers, we have a critical role in preventing other stakeholders in the equation from making an inappropriate decision for the system and business as a whole. We sometimes have to stand up for what we believe is best. This means we can't be haphazard about what we decide to implement. We have to learn to balance the requirements from different stakeholders like design and product managers. We have to meet the needs of the business like tight deadlines and the direction handed down from VPs and execs. And we have to take into account system constraints like maintainability and developer ergonomics. This is far from a simple job where you simply do what you're told. It's hard, complicated knowledge work that requires working effectively with both machines and other people. Harsh truth number 3 is that working on a team is a lot more about code comprehension and technical writing than it is about dishing out features. The image of someone who codes from morning to night, dishing out feature after feature, is a myth in most software development, especially on a team with many engineers. Our work involves more reading in the form of comprehending existing behavior and reviewing other people's code than writing code. All of this reading is to help us understand the system architecture, comprehend existing behavior from the code, navigate the complex web of external dependencies, and be an effective collaborator by sharing thoughtful insights to other team members. We also need to communicate intricate technical details concisely to other engineers. This happens in the form of written documents that justify our decisions, code reviews, and online chatter to help drive key decisions. So if you really love to code and that's really all you'd rather be doing, know that the job is actually maybe 50 to 60% coding and the rest is writing docs and communicating with other people. Harsh truth number 4 is that non-programmers will not understand the nature of your work. Our work is multidisciplinary. It's highly communicative and decision-making skills are paramount. We balance priorities from multiple parties as well as other engineers to help make sound and effective decisions for the business. And sometimes this can be misconstrued as engineers being hard to work with. Yes, some engineers might actually be difficult to work with, but the majority of us that are putting forth our best opinions that we think actually matter are doing it in the best interest of the company as a whole. We don't take this part of the job lightly, and this can be misunderstood if you don't know how to navigate the dynamics of working with other people well. Moreover, programming itself is very opaque to non-programmers. The work feels invisible to them because they fundamentally don't understand the complicated mess of trying to change existing behavior, how things are interdependent on each other, and how we need to break up a large problem into a bunch of small manageable tasks to get things done, and sometimes work as a team to get them done. This can all be confusing to onlookers, and it might lead them to have too high of expectations or demanding too much from you. Now, that's not necessarily their fault. If anything, it's our job to communicate this respectfully and professionally. Our work isn't as simple as coding all day, but we aren't credited or recognized as being this multidisciplinary. Harsh truth number 5 is that thriving in the industry requires you to uphold yourself to a high standard of work. This is the golden rule for staying employed and thriving in industry. If you actually care about the work that you do, if you want to implement stuff that actually works, if you want to see things through by taking responsibility for any problems that you cause, if you want to see things work well for the long run rather than to simply get things done, but you're also sensitive enough to the needs of the business that you can balance quality with speed of execution, then you have a really promising future as a software engineer. You have to have a desire to be disciplined in order to implement things with a high bar of quality and maintain them with care. I dive deeper into this aspect of working as a software developer in this video. Check it out if you want to get insights into how to thrive in your career. Harsh truth number 6 is that coding will become routine and predictable. Coding, while fun, is like any other task assigned to you. As complex and thrilling as the learning is at the onset, eventually you become better at coding itself and things become routine and predictable. The problems no longer appear complex. You can quickly solve things and you have a comfortable level of fluency. Coding is not as exciting as it used to be. This is actually a good thing in the grand scheme of things. It means you can comfortably be effective, but it also means you have to be self-aware enough to want to spice things up from time to time. Our brains are naturally good at checking out and not caring when things become too easy. We need a challenge to stay excited, and this requires conscious effort. And if we let ourselves rot away too long in the comfort of what we know how to do, picking up new things will begin to feel like a drag. We will feel resistance to learning new things for the sake of pursuing learning itself. So that's just something you want to be mindful of as you get better and better at coding. The problems of not knowing enough at the start will morph into now you're too comfortable and you need novel challenges. Okay, so those are the 6 harsh truths of being a software engineer. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel. I also have a coding newsletter where I share insights on becoming an effective software engineer and high-performing individual. I also host live workshops, and you'll be the first to know if you're signed up for the newsletter. Check it out if you're interested. I'd love to have you there, and I'll leave a link to it in the video description. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.